Okay, this is week 2 of the June challenge. Yvonne Preston is doing it over on Junk Journal Junkies, so this will be week 2. I'm doing like a paid spread again because I need to get this journal done. Okay, so I'm just taking one of the pages and I'm folding it over. Right, that's it. Do that. Okay, so I'm just folding the top up, so I'm going to have like a pocket there. Okay, and then because I'm left with this bit down here, I'm just folding that over, and then that reinforces the pocket there. Okay, and also gives a nice edge. Yeah, and what we do, I usually cut that top off actually. I don't have it pointed, have it sort of like so. So that goes there. Like that. Then I will mark about there to cut that off. Okay, this is one of the first things I ever done when I done journals. So there's somebody called Paula. Oh my gosh, and I can't remember her second name. I'm so sorry. I'm not even sure if she's doing journals anymore. I don't know, but she done that in one of her journals, and I think at the time, you know, of course I shared. But I'm talking of you know, I've got 1,000 videos there, so right, I always keep those. Okay, and that's how easy a double pocket is that. And then you spruce it up a bit with a bit of lace. I've got some here somewhere, so I would zigzag stitch along there. I'm going to glue that down. And I do this bit first, of course, whilst you'll stitch the pocket down. So, a bit of lace. Okay. Like so. And then I'm going to stitch mine into the pocket. But I am going to just glue it a bit. Okay, just to... And I'm also going to, shall we put some lace on that pocket too, along here to break it away from that page? I think we will. All right, let's do that. Okay. No ink on there. Yeah, I think this is one of the very first pockets I done. Oh my gosh, I can't remember, how awful, I can't remember her name, but I do remember her first name, it's just Paula. And she was, you know, made some fantastic journals when I first started. So I used to watch her and Yvonne a lot. So yeah, I'm happy with that. So I'll cut the other end when I'm done. So I'm going to stitch here, okay, and then stitch some finer lace on that one, which I have, I think. This is all knotted, this lace. I'm going to be left with loads of little bits, I think. So, and then I'm going to stitch that into there. Okay. Once I've stitched that bit, okay, and that bit, and then I'll stitch it into the page, and then I'll come back to you. Gosh, that's going to be another quick one, isn't it? But hey ho, we're filling our journal up. Okay, so that's all stitched in now. All right, into there, and pocket there and there. And then what I've done here, okay, I've got one of my dangles on. All the dangle, there's loads of dangle videos in a playlist, and it's in the description box down below. Okay, but what I've done, because this is quite a small tag, and I'll just pop that in, and it sort of disappears basically. Yeah, hardly see anything. So what I do in that case, and I want it lifted up a bit, sometimes I will stitch that down, or even stick that little bit down there. But today I've done this, so I've put a tab on, okay, cut out from paper, well that's sort of card, and then that stops it from going any lower than there, look, because that catches on there. All right, so that's now there, and then I'll put a little dangle on. Okay, that's just a bit lace. That is laminated music paper, very vintage, that one. That's why I laminated it and made a hole in it so fed through, and that's one of my resin dangles. Okay, UV resin dangles there. So that now sits on the outside of the page, which I like. So got that coming out of there. Okay, and I thought I might put like something here and do some bit of stamping over here, okay, to finish off this page here. It's quite nice because it's got bits of blue and pink going through that as well, so that's brilliant. And then just some ephemera, so they can go in. You can either have 2 or 3, it's up to you. Actually, I'm thinking 2 is enough. There, like that. Yeah, so I'll just do a bit of stamping here, bit of text stamp. I'm using Vintage Photo. Just gonna sort of, oh, I'm not sure if that's the right way. It's that way, I think. Yeah, it's better. There we go. Put it upside down. I tend to just sort of do things like that, and I'll carry on up there with it as well. Maybe a little bit, tiny bit more, like so. Very lightly, okay? That's all you need. Let's have a look. Put that there. Okay, and because this is, if this was sort of like lightly coffee stained, you wouldn't see the sticker, but you do tend to see it when it's on this sort of colour, but that's okay. You just sort of blend it out a bit and make it look like it's part of the page. Just got a little bit of a not sticky there, so I'm going to add a little bit of glue there. And where is my favourite stamp of all time? This one. And a little bit of that as well. Like that. And maybe there. There we go. And finished. That spread is now finished as well. So that was week 2. So that's a really quick, easy project for beginners. Okay, so any of the pages that you got and you have left over, you can always put through the journal like that. It's really a good idea, and it all blends in with, because you're using that in your journal. And I think it's a great way of using up some extra pages that you might have printed out or anything like that, and it's, you know, it's going to match perfectly with everything. Okay, well, thank you very much for watching then, and I'll speak to you soon. I'm off now to edit the videos so I can put them up, because as I'm a week behind, and I should be caught up now. Okay, thanks everybody, and speak to you soon. Bye.